What is up, everybody? My name is Sir Rice. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a brand new live stream, and it is time to recap the Montreal Canadiens game. I have the score wrong. That was the one thing I forgot to do, was update the score. So, there we go. We updated the score. Welcome, everybody. The Montreal Canadiens played tonight. It was another 7 p.m. start. It is the second half of a back-to-back. We played the Blues last night. You can check out that recap here on the channel. And we're here to recap tonight's game. The second half, we were in Philadelphia to play the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Habs won. As you can see by the score, you can tell by the jersey more than likely. Montreal picks up a big win. Second half of back-to-back, we sweep the back-to-back Habs guru. Going pretty well, man. Hope it's going well with you too, my good sir. Thank you for coming by. For anybody who's new here, how we do this is I go through the lines for both teams. I give them a little game summary recap analysis, whatever you want to call it. I go through the stats for the Canadiens, and then we get on out of here usually. I also do want to plug right off the top of the stream real quick. MCW election night. I will hopefully be getting the stream for that set up tonight. I keep forgetting after every stream to do it, so I'm hoping by actually advertising it on the stream for everybody to see, it'll remind me I got to get it ready. So MCW election night will be Tuesday, November 5th. We start at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central. Yeah, we are going to be doing, we've got 4 great matches planned. I can tell you guys that a little bit further into the stream. But MCW election night, that'll be coming November 5th. Special start time, 11 p.m. So yeah, we are going to get right into it. No comments. If anybody's got any comments coming through, put them in the chat. I'll read them whenever. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caufield, Suzuki, Doc, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher, Armia, Newhook, Kapanen, and Pezzetta, Dvorak, Heineman, Matheson, Mayu, Hudson, Savard, and Jack Struble were the blue lines. And Caden Primo would get the start in net because Sam Montembeault started yesterday. He would be the backup to Caden Primo. Played quite well tonight, if you ask me. The opening lines for the Flyers were Konechny, Couturier, Michkov, Tippett, Frost, Hathaway, Lawton, Paling, Farabee, and Delorier, Cates, and Forster. Sandheimer, Stalainen, Sealer, Drysdale, and Zamula Johnson of the Eric variety were on the blue line. Alexei Kulisov gets his first career NHL start tonight. Also makes NHL history. He is the first Belarusian goaltender for the NHL. Of course, there's been players like the Kostitsins, Ruslan Saleh, guys like that, but never a goaltender. So congrats to Alexei Kulisov. NHL history there. Yeah. Sporty, no points for Michkov. Flyers Twitter is pissed. Life is good. Oh, dude, you love to see it. I mean, I hate that I can't see it because I'm not on Twitter right now. I could probably load it up real quick. But God, I love that they're so pissed off, bro. Like, Michkov 0 points against the Canadiens. God, life is good, boys. Life is pretty good right now, man. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. But yeah. So, Sam Ersson backs him up as he is the least trash goalie for Philadelphia. And after tonight, technically debatable, but I mean, all 3 of their goalies are pretty goddamn bad. It's Philadelphia. They don't have good goaltending anymore. I guess Michkov got cheap-shotted by Savard or something. They were bitching. No, I think that's when he was going after Brendan Gallagher, I think. I think that's when he was going after Gallagher. Unless that's who Savard hit after they got rid of the puck, like half a second after, in the Flyers zone, because that's well-deserved, honestly. But if it was for the stuff with Gallagher, he deserved that penalty wholeheartedly. Like, Flyers fans gotta realize, they ain't shit. They're the bottom of the league. They are literally the basement of the NHL. Michkov got an elbow to the schnoz. Oh, let's fucking go, Savard. Hell yeah, Savard. You love to see that. I don't know how I missed that. It's unfortunate that I did. I wish I saw that. I'll have to look on Twitter later. Before the game, unlike a irrelevant player like Matvei Michkov, the Habs called up Lucas Condada this morning, the Laval Rocket captain, actually. My guess is, and it was probably the case, if Anderson wasn't able to play tonight, Condada would get the start. I did say Anderson in the opening lineup, so Condada was a technical healthy scratch tonight. So yeah, Lucas Condada was more of a safety call-up, and yeah. To be fair, if Michkov took out Gallagher, y'all be building a statue of him. Nah, dude, Sporty, you clearly are not watching Canadiens games this year, because Gallagher's been pretty good, actually. If you took out Anderson, then we'd be building a statue of him. But Gallagher's actually been pretty decent this year. He's actually very respectable surprisingly. Dvorak, yeah. Anderson or Dvorak. Then we would definitely build a statue of him. But, I don't know. Hopefully Michkov misses some time. That'd be really funny. It would give time for the King Hudson to take back his throne as King Calder. So early on, opening minute, Caufield has speed. He gets a 2-on-1 with Doc. The pass is just wide, though. Doc would have had a wide open net there. And then Hudson goes off the far side post. He almost had his first NHL goal. Walked Couturier. Really good time and space there for Hudson. Canadiens press. There's a good look for Michkov, but an even better stop by Primo. And then Doc, a beauty of a dangle. But the shot gets stopped by Kolosov. Canadiens do press. They actually lead the shots. I believe it's 3-1 5 minutes in. Sporty, you saw a clip of that? That was Kapanen. That was Kapanen who he hit in the face. He was trying to spring. I forget who it was, but he was trying to spring someone. He ended up just fucking flipping it and hitting Kapanen in the side of the head. So we'll talk about that in my notes, though. Yeah, it was funny. Hopefully Kapanen's okay, but it was really, really funny. This will be a tight Atlantic race. I mean, Yoshi, we're 9 games into the season, my guy. We're 9 games in. By 25 games, if it's still tight, then you can say that. We're 9 games in. Have you guys heard of some guy named Matvei Michkov who was apparently supposed to play hockey today, but was a ghost? Should we tell him Halloween is in 4 days? Valencia, given he actually did have a couple scoring chances, that joke doesn't really work. Heineman gets in with speed. He ends up getting a shot. There's a good stop by Kolosar, but the rebound, that's given to him by a Flyer. He ends up covering it. Couturier has an accidental drive-by on Doc. It nearly got him in the face. Thankfully, Couturier kind of let up, but doesn't matter. Jack-Eye wants him in the Habs zone. They drop the gloves, and a fucking coward Nick Seeler comes in, little cheap shot to the side of the face of Jack-Eye. They both end up tripping him, and hey, Enzia, you tried? You know, there's that at least. At least he tried. I mean, to be fair, could still call him a ghost. He had 0 points. I think he had 2 shots on net. I think he had 3 that fucking went wide. There was a couple chances for Michkov that went wide. But yeah, no, he didn't put up any points tonight, and I'm sure Flyers fans are also pissed about that because they wanted their daddy Michkov to dominate the Canadiens, and as it turns out, like I predicted last year, even with Michkov, the Flyers are nothing but hot garbage. I predicted this last year. I said in my Michkov video, I believe, I forget if I did it in the offseason or if I did it during the last stretch of last season. Michkov is not going to help the Flyers. It turns out you need more than one half decent offensive player to be a good team. Who would have thought? You actually need a team. It's kind of funny because the Canadiens are back to 500 and the Flyers are now, what are they, like 2-6-1, 2-7-1? Something like that. Let me look up Philadelphia Flyers. They are a 2-6-1. While the Canadiens are 4-4-1. The Canadiens actually have a chance to make the playoffs, unlike the Philadelphia Flyers. And it's funny, because the Flyers fans are going to say, oh, the Flyers are going to rebuild anyways, we don't have it's goaltending. You need a hell of a lot more than goaltending, buddy. You need defense, you need 2 top 6 forwards, you need a bottom 6, and you need a good general manager in order to pull all that off. So, oof. Tell me how Jet Luchenko does when you rush him to the NHL and then realize after 4 games, oh shit, he's not ready, and send him back to his junior team. That's kind of funny. All right. Where was I, actually? So Jack-Eye wants him. Nick Seeler jumps in. And Arbor Jack-Eye gets the only penalty here. So, Couturier drops the gloves first, by the way. Couturier drops them. Jack-Eye then does. Jack-Eye does the honorable thing. Doesn't just go in there and start wailing on the Flyers captain, because he knows that's not what you do. Waits for Couturier to drop the gloves. He drops them. Seeler comes in. And Jack-Eye is called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Couturier almost gave a headshot to Kirby Dach. Thankfully did let up. And Jack-Eye is given the penalty for talking to Sean Couturier, basically. The Habs go to the penalty kill. Habs look great. Nothing but killing. Feels like Evans is doing all the clearing. Habs are 1-for-1 on the penalty kill tonight. There's really not much to mention. Flyers didn't get anybody. They didn't get any shots, I should say. They didn't connect with anybody, really. Am I reading this wrong? Montreal is 6th in the Atlantic with 27-33. Boston is 7th, 27-32. I don't know, Yoshi. Habs score after about a minute after the penalty kill ends. Nick Suzuki gets his 3rd of the year. Doc and Struble with the assist. Struble with a nice sort of slap shot. Kind of more just like kind of meant to be a slap pass. Little scramble in front. A nice touch from Doc. Suzuki gets it. Just lifts it up. And boom. 1-0 Canadiens lead. 10:42 into the first period. And Canadiens get the first goal. Michkov then gets on a break shortly after, and he misses. Emil Heineman then the other way. He was creating some good rushes, generating a couple chances on nets. Armia ends up getting a good rush chance off a turnover. First line pressed hard. There was a near bobble off a flyer, but Kulisov does cover. Hudson, then we saw it in practice. The flip pass connected with Caufield. He tries to do it with Dvorak. Just can't get on the puck was Dvorak. It was so close. Still might have been offside even if Dvorak got it and scored. Yeah. Yoshi Bros, let's say pretend Panthers and Leafs clinch the playoff spots at 1st and 2nd. It's Montreal, Tampa, and Boston who have the same amount of points. Who gets 3rd and who gets the wild card? I would imagine Boston gets 3rd just because they actually have a competent team compared to Tampa Bay, who's solely relying on Kucherov being hot. I would imagine it would probably then be Tampa and Montreal still, though, just because Montreal is missing. They are missing Laine for probably another couple weeks. He might be back a little sooner than expected, hopefully. And Slav's been out for a couple games. Gooley's out still technically day-to-day. We don't know when he's going to be back. But I would imagine Tampa probably would get that spot over Montreal, even with just Laine being out. But I don't know, though. I would imagine it'd probably be Boston, Tampa, Montreal, though. But, I mean, hey, who knows? Montreal could surprise a lot of people this year, and I said that they probably would. And, yeah. Denigan. I like your name. That's very fun. Boston will have problems this year. I don't expect them to make the cut. I mean, judging off those 3 teams, I could see Boston getting 3rd just because it's Boston. They seem to not fall off when we expect them to, and when we probably expect them to be good, that's when they'll probably fall off. But yeah, they do have problems. I mean, in net, their backup, not great. They got rid of their really, really well done Omark and Swayman tandem. Their blue line looks a little bit rough. Their depth isn't as hot as it was the last couple years. Marchand's not off to a hot start. Boston's a little bit iffy, so I would have no problem if they don't make the cut, and if it's, say, Buffalo and Montreal instead. Buffalo or Montreal, I should say. Anyone but Detroit or Ottawa, because, God, those teams are insufferable. If we're just going Atlantic, if we're going Metro, obviously we got to include Philly in there because they're going to think that they're better than half the league because they made the playoffs. Exactly, Dingy. Defensive problems mostly against good stick handling players. Exactly. When they were up against the Canadiens, even though they beat the Canadiens, they had a lot of issues containing Caufield, Suzuki, Hudson especially. They had a lot of problems against those type of guys, and they really dominated the Dvorak line a lot of the time. So, yeah. Technically, I would address Nick Suzuki as a better captain than Austin Matthews. By the end of the season, Suzuki will get more goals than Matthews on a captain difference. No clue what that means exactly. I don't think Suzuki will get more goals than Matthews because Matthews is still a good player. He should hit 40-50. He should hit 40. More goals than Caufield? No, because Caufield now has 8 and 9. Matthews, I think, has 4 and 9, I think. He's still respectable, but I feel like he has 4 and 9, I think. I think it's 3. Yeah, 4 goals in 9 games, so should still hit 40 goals, because that's about half a goal. So that's still technically about half a goal per game. So yeah, I should hit still 40 goals. But if Caufield ends up hitting 50 or 60, whew. Mainly because Suzuki is scoring. Suzuki has 3 goals. He's getting more points, Matthews still has more goals right now. Matthews isn't actually, he's been struggling through 9 games, but with lots of teams checking him a lot. Exactly, Yoshi Bros. And yeah, would not have expected a Leafs fan to say Suzuki over Matthews, but it is very true indeed. Which one's gone to the Stanley Cup final already? But yeah, I mean, a lot of teams know that they check the top 4, and the Leafs don't really have that much scoring depth anyways, so check Matthews, check Marner, check Nylander, and that's basically all of their basically all their offense right there. Tavares needs someone good with him to feed him points, and yeah. Dingy, Newhook is a player of third, maybe surely fourth. You mean third line, right? Because I would definitely agree that for sure third line. I don't know if I would say fourth line. I definitely think he's a third line type of guy. I think they did want him to cap into that second line winger spot, but I could honestly see a guy like Michael Hage fitting in there. Newhook is the third line center with potentially say Waugh and let's maybe Philip Mazar. I could honestly see that third line right wing spot if we trade out a guy like Mazar. I could see that third line right wing spot being a guy where you get a big veteran. Someone who's not necessarily like this, but say like a Corey Perry or an Ilya Kovalchuk. Like someone who's like that. We're very good offensively, but they're the one who really drives that offense on that third line. The other two guys are very capable on both sides of the ice. Or hell, if you want to keep Evans, I mean, you could use him as your fourth line center and then go third line with another young guy, because Evans in 2 years is going to be 30, I think. God, it's weird to say that. Or 29, I think he is. So, and Evans, I really, really like him on that third line, actually, but he's definitely best suited as a fourth line center. Newhook, I mean, right now, I don't think he really is a top 6 guy. I mean, I don't mind him playing there right now. I think he's all right. But definitely, I think when the Canadiens have all their pieces in 2 to 3 years, he probably will be getting third line minutes. Unless he's a trade piece. He could end up being a trade piece for someone who's better than Newhook. He potentially could be that. But I think that Newhook, if he's not a trade piece, I think he'd be a very good third line center, though, for sure. I can reflect like this. If you ever say Caufield Suzuki versus Matthews Marner, points would likely be Caufield Suzuki, but for goals, definitely. I'd actually flip it. I would think it'd be more Caufield Suzuki for goals, but points would be Matthews and Marner, because Marner is an assist merchant. Exactly like you said, though, Marner isn't much of a scoring person. Suzuki gains assists. I mean, even then, he was 30-40 last year. I think he put up something like 33 goals, and I think nearly 50 assists. I think he was like 74 points last year, somewhere around there. A Habs captain getting points and goals is a bit odd. I mean, not really. I mean, you look at, like, okay, Weber. Weber wasn't scoring as many goals because he was a defenseman. Pacioretty, yes, was putting up goals. Who's the captain before him? I'm trying to think. It wasn't Plekanec, was it? No, it wasn't Plekanec. Koivu. Koivu was a very good two-way guy. He was a very good offensive and defensive guy. Yes, Suzuki put up 33 goals, 44 assists actually last year. He had 77 points. Right now, 3 goals, 8 assists, and 11 points in 9 games. So he's above point per game. And actually, funny enough, took his first penalty of the year tonight. So, shout out. Evan should be playing right wing? I don't know if I agree with that, Dingy. He would be able to use his speed, be an excellent backup for the faceoffs, and resolve a problem in right wings. I don't know why everybody keeps saying we have a problem at right wing. Like, even like right now, it's not that big of a problem because we're missing Line and Slav both to injuries. We're literally missing our top 2 right wingers. We have to use Doc, who's primarily a center, on that right wing spot. But even if we're talking like for the future, the Canadiens are not horrible at right wing. I mean, Slavkovsky or Caufield, whoever we play there. Demidov's a natural right wing. You've got Philippe Mazar, who can play right wing, who's pretty decent. Josh Waugh can play both sides. He can play both wings. This is even just looking at who we have drafted. Well, looking at who we have in the system. If I can look at who we have in the system, of course, Patrick Laine as well, assuming he sticks around long term, which really hoping he does. Even like a guy like Brendan Gallagher, he's here for probably 2 more years until his contract expires. He's really not that bad. Like this year, at least, he's really not been that bad. I thought he's been pretty all right. I'm still looking at the AHL. Sean Farrell apparently can play both wings. He should be a decent depth option. Florian Jacka can play all three positions. He'll be good at on the fourth line probably. Again, Josh Waugh, if he's on the third line, if your right wing depth is I mean, not a long-term problem, an actual problem, like a right now problem, yeah, because again, Slavkovsky and Line are both hurt. If you had Slavkovsky and Line, your right wing depth probably looks like Slav or Caufield, depending on who you play there. Again, they both can play both wings. But Slavkovsky, Line, and then Gallagher with probably Anderson or maybe Armia you put there on that fourth line. And then Anderson goes to the left wing or Armia, whichever one you don't have on that fourth line wing. It's not great. It's not amazing, but it's all right. It's pretty good, actually. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think Evans should be playing a right wing. I really like Evans as a center, and honestly, I actually liked him as a second line center tonight. I wouldn't use him there full time, of course, once Slav is back. Put Doc back at second line center, Newhook third line center, Evans fourth line, and scratch Dvorak. I would really like that. I wouldn't even mind Newhook fourth line for a couple games and rewarding Evans for how well he's been playing recently, to start the season. But yeah, once Slav is back, and especially once Line is back, you're going to have a good amount of depth, I will say. And also, I should mention at this point, because I haven't done it the past two games, it's been confirmed by Pierre LeBrun, I believe, and Elliot Friedman, that the Canadiens are looking for a top four, I believe it's right-handed defenseman, and a gritty third liner, a gritty forward to go along with the team, so we are looking to improve the team, and as well, apparently Ken Hughes has told teams around the league he is not looking to disrupt. He's not looking to disrupt the future of the team. So if anything, he'd probably want, say, now just saying the two teams that are playing tonight because that's what's coming to mind. Say Dvorak for Hathaway. If it's a deal something like that, that's something he wants is. Player in, player out. That's what he'd probably want. Or maybe say Dvorak and a third for Hathaway. I don't think it would be that expensive, but say something like that. That's what he'd want to do. I'd assume as well on the blue line, it'd probably be, say, and I mentioned this the other stream because I actually did talk about it, say a Savard for Doughty type of deal. He'd want player in, player out. That's the type of deal that he'd probably want. I'm not saying it's going to be Savard for Doughty, but it's the first example that came to mind is a player in, player out type of move. That's what he'd probably want to do. Demidov for Michkov, salty wings. You got it, buddy. Hell yeah. Caufield was a good two-way center. Dan, how's it going, man? Thank you for coming by, my good sir. Jets are 8-0-0. Props to them for defeating the allegations of one-year wonders. They will be a two-year wonder. If you were to think Caufield reaching 500 goals before he retires, easily, is likely, but you don't know which newbie Canadiens players can even look at for a 500 goal score. Yeah, Yoshi Bros. Yeah. The 2019 Lightning. NZA. I don't think the Jets even get close to a 60-win season. They're going to be a 45-win season. I think they're going to have a very rough second half of the year. They're expelling a lot of gas in this first portion of the year, and when they have that come down, it's going to hit them hard. And I think a lot of teams aren't. A lot of fans aren't really going to notice that. When it's playoff time. I think a lot of people are going to have Jets going far, and they probably do end up being a first-round exit. So I could see it being like the Bruins and the Lightning in terms of they're eliminated far earlier than people expect. But then again, people expected the Jets to go far last year, and they got humiliated by the Avs last year in 5 games because Hellebuck is garbage in the playoffs. Let's stop pretending that he's a good playoff goalie. Hellebuck is not. I just read that. I can't really say Montreal is more of a rebuilding team. We're kind of in the middle. The line should be decent, so I'm for sure maybe, I wouldn't even say a 60% chance. Right now, I'd put it at 50. I'd put it at an even, like, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Dan, how far do they think the Jets go? If Hellebuck's on his game, conference finals. If it's like how he's been since the beginning of his playoff career, barring 2018 and 2021, to an extent, first round exits, easy. They are out in the first round 100% if Hellebuck's not on his game. The rest of the team can play well, but if Hellebuck's garbage, allowing 5 goals a game like he was last year, they're out in the first round easy. Unless you might have to think of Montembeau Primo to play better. No way, Yoshi Bros. Montembeau had that short little rough stretch, but he's been mostly really good this season. And Primo if he doesn't play that first game that he gets of the year, if he doesn't play the first game he gets, he has something like a 920 save percentage. Like looking at the game. So obviously he had the shutout against the Leafs. He had a 1 goals against average and a 960 save percentage against the Senators. Then he allowed 5 goals to the Penguins, 3 goals to the Kings, but still had a 903. Then the 4 goals on 10 shots against the Rangers because we didn't know how to play defense. So that really kind of tanked his save percentage. But against the Blues, just the two goals against and a 935 save percentage. So you take out, let's give him the Penguins game. You just take out that Rangers game, for example. That save percentage is probably up to like a 920, and he's probably a 916, 917 actually. He's still 16th in the league in save percentage, and he's 22nd in terms of goals against per game. And I'm assuming 22nd. I'm assuming that's including backup goalies who have only played 2 or 3 games. So Montembeault is still a very, very solid player. He's still a very solid player for the Montreal Canadiens. And now if you look at Caden Primo, which I'd really like to do if ESPN wants to load up very quickly for me, that would be greatly appreciated. Primo, I know he's been very good since that first game. Okay, let me. I'm pretty sure I actually have this. Yeah, stats per game. So Caden Primo, which is funny, because even today he apparently didn't even play that great, but he was still really good up until the 2 last second goals. But he has right now technically a 4.21 goals against average, which isn't great. An 880 save percentage. But that first goal, he allows all 6 goals with a 793 save percentage. Then he rebounds against the Islanders and Rangers. The 3 goals in both games, but a 917 and a 914 save percentage. And tonight, he allows 3 goals, but he has an 885 because he allows 3 goals on 26 shots. You take out that first game, he probably has like a 900 save percentage. He's probably better than I think a lot of people expected. So, yeah. Hey, no problem, Dan. Do you think the Habs make the playoffs this year? I don't know, actually. I don't know. It's honestly tough to say. It's tough to say. Because if we have Slavkovsky back very soon, like if he's back next game, because he was only supposed to be out a week. If he is back when he's expected to be back for next game, he's going to be fantastic. And if we had Laine the whole year, I honestly think we're probably 5-3-1 at this point. I don't think it gets to the point of 6-2-1, but I think we've won one more game than we've won up to this point. But having Laine would be a huge boost to the Canadiens, and when he does come back, us making the playoffs wouldn't entirely depend on what our record is when Laine comes back. Because I would think with Laine, he's a guy where he can really boost the morale of a team, especially from a guy who hasn't even technically played a game as a Canadian yet, because preseason games don't count. If we're near 500 or just over by the time of Christmas, or by the time Laine comes back, it's supposed to be Christmas. I was reading Dingy's comment, I saw Christmas, but he's supposed to be back, say, within the next month or two. If we're at 500 or just above, I think we can make the playoffs. I mean, it's said that most teams, I think it's like 75% of the teams who are in a playoff spot at American Thanksgiving do usually make the playoffs at the end of the year. So if the Habs can be in a playoff spot at Thanksgiving, there's a good chance that we could make it. But it is all in really injury luck. But I think there's a chance the Canadiens can make the playoffs this year. At least I think so. I prefer Dobesh to Primo. That's fair, Dingy. I mean, I think Dobesh is probably the likely backup to Jacob Fowler. I mean, I think having the Jacob Jakob would be really funny. Would be pretty fun in net. Plus, they're both 2 solid goalies. I mean, Jacob Fowler is a top 5 goalie prospect in the NHL, so there's that. But yeah, for me, I think it's going to be Fowler and Dobesh. Not that Primo I think is going to be bad. I like Primo, but yeah, I don't really see Primo being long-term backup. But I think he's a good backup until Dobesh is ready. Or Fowler's ready. Probably Fowler's ready first, but I don't know. most of these flashing teams early in the season go flat around Christmas. Exactly, Dingy. And I think that's one thing that could actually also end up helping the Canadiens is that we're literally 500 hockey right now. Technically NHL 500. But we're not showing our full potential. Suzuki, Caufield, and Doc, those guys look really good, especially tonight. They look good. If we wait until November to December to really turn it on, and then from there, boom, Canadiens could make a playoff spot. Especially like you look at the division we're in. Florida is really good. Toronto, a little bit faltering if they don't have Stolarz in that. When they do, he's pretty good. Tampa should fall off. Boston should fall off. Buffalo should be in the playoffs. Detroit, massive disappointment. Ottawa, massive disappointment. I feel like I'm forgetting a team. I'm not counting Montreal because obviously like that's what this is about. But yeah, Montreal should hit 4th at minimum, assuming Buffalo finally lives up to expectations and is at least 3rd in the division. If Montreal's 4th, the only thing we have to hope is that both wildcards aren't in the Metro division, which given that they have the Flyers, the Penguins, the Islanders, and the Hurricanes, and the Blue Jackets as well, there's a good chance that it could be a 1-1 wild card. In the Metro and Atlantic, it could be a 1-1. So I think the Canadiens could end up making a wild card. I think their cap this season is a first wild card. But I think next year they're really going to start to challenge, especially if Detroit and Ottawa continue to be rebuilding disappointments. Then Montreal could honestly finish as high as 2nd next year, especially if Monty and Primo play this year and they play great. Then yeah, so yeah. Holy shit, you're commenting a lot, Jesus. Another comparison to Montembeault, Primo, Stolarz, Waller, Hildeby, to be honest. Primo's better than Wall and Hildeby, absolutely. Knowing he doesn't allow too many goals in the game. I mean, technically he allows at least 3, but literally 2 straight games. The 2 goals that he's allowed late have been throwaway goals. Against the Rangers, it was to make it 6 and 7-2. And then this game, it was technically to make it close, but even if you take one of those goals away, sure, save percentage probably goes up to like a 900, maybe a 905, something around there. But the Canadiens still win. The goals basically ended up meaning nothing. So yeah, Montembeault, I would say Primo is better than Wall and Hildeby for sure. Stolarz is Monty for sure. Stolarz is good, but knowing in game 1 when we lost to your team because Montembeault showed up to play, there's a chance. But knowing in game 2 your team took a 8-5 loss to the Bruins, I'm not exactly sure why. Had Primo showed up to his best, it would have been a 2-0. No, Yoshi, it wouldn't have been, dog. Even if he was good, no. And I do know Montembeault Stolarz will likely be the matchup again in Toronto, but there isn't a likely chance if Stolarz starts first against Detroit, then Wall doesn't sound like it. I would assume they do play fucking Wall against Detroit because Detroit's the worst team. However, Toronto has the best November record in 3 seasons, so I don't see how the Leafs can't score past Montembeault. Montembeault does show up against Toronto. Yes, like I don't know what you say because he only sounds good versus our team except for others he falls off a bit. I don't know how you can say that, Yoshi Bros, considering I literally just read you the stats and Montembeault plays good. I'm going to call that out a little. I don't know if you were listening when I was talking about Montembeault's stats. Because, again, played well against Ottawa. Played well against St. Louis. Played fairly well against LA. I will say he played well against LA. The only teams he really played bad against was Pittsburgh. And even then, there was 2 deflections in that game. And I believe that was the game with 2 goals where Dvorak was literally screening Montembeault. And then the Rangers game, the Canadiens' defense just sucked. There was literally 1 goal scored because the refs just refused to call an icing. And Montembeault thought that there was an icing on the call, on the play. That was another game where there was 2 more tipped goals. So you could honestly argue Monty has not had a bad game this year. I think you could argue that. Whereas with Primo, I would probably give you that Boston game where he wasn't that great. I'll give you the Boston game where he wasn't great, and also the loss was 6-4 by the way, not 8-5. I think you're thinking of the game last year. I think that was the game last year. But yeah, and again, even then, with him allowing those 2 meaningless goals to make it 6 and 7-2 in the Rangers game, he still had a 9-14 actually, which is kind of crazy. Jason, how's it going, man? Obviously, it's more fun to watch a win than a defeat. Obviously, absolutely. Obviously, more fun to watch a win over a defeat, and especially 2 wins in a row. Hell yeah, let's make it 3 on. I think it's Tuesday against the Kraken. I think that's our next game. I'm like 99% sure it is. Yeah, no, it has to be, because there's no way we'd play three games in a row. Yeah, 3 days in a row, I should say. Yeah, so it's at home against the Kraken on Tuesday, and then Halloween against the Capitals in Washington, actually, too. So our Halloween game is probably going to be the home game against the Kraken, which is going to be quite fun. If the defense was helping Montreal game one for that, I'm for sure knowing we could have scored 1 goal there. Sure, yeah, Yoshi Bros, sure. So yeah, Habs look depressed. Doc ends up nearly getting a chance for Caufield, but there's nothing. And the Flyers end up scoring. Going back the other way, Travis Sanheim gets his second of the year. Nice wrister past Primo. That ends up going off Evans in front. He tried to block the shot. It just goes off him. That sucks, but it's one of those you really can't say, oh, you shouldn't be there. He's trying to shot block. It just ends up going off him. Harry, I literally just looked it on Google, so yes, we literally play the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday. We literally play the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday. You play them Halloween in Toronto? Yeah, we play them on the 29th on Tuesday. Thursday is Halloween. We're playing the Capitals in Washington. We play them on the Tuesday. That's what I said. I thought you were a Rangers fan. Oof, NZA. Despite all our 4 games, Gibby got the same points as the Maple Leafs, Bruins, and the Red Wings. Well, yeah, because the Bruins aren't that good anymore. The Maple Leafs have bad backup goaltending, and the Red Wings are just bad. The Red Wings are kind of garbage. Let's be honest. But yeah, Travis Sanheim. Andy and Galley both kind of miscommunicate on who's blocking the shot. No one really agrees. The Flyers do tie the game just like that, and then they go to the power play with 1:59 left in the period. It's 40 seconds after the goal. Kapanen gets called for a hook on Farabee. That sucked. It's not the defense problem, it's just the offense for Leafs. Oh, you could also say that, Yoshi, yeah. That's true. Yeah, so the Flyers go to the power play. Evans gets the puck. Good killing time. Anderson gets fed by Hudson, but he just can't get it as it's just past his stick. In the corner, he is still first on the puck. Just doesn't elect for a scoring chance. Canadians do get some clears, and their only good chance, the Flyers' only good chance, is Couturier poking at a Primo-held puck. And the Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Technically, it's 1 second left, but they're not scoring with 1 second to start in the second. So they're 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Habs lead the shots 11 to 2. Jesus, 11 to 8. It's a 1-1 tie game after the first period as well. You can see when Keefe was coaching our team, we at least score lots of goals in the first 9 games. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see that. Yeah, I mean, Berube, that's the thing with him, is he's a very defensive coach. He's very, win games 3-2, 2-1. He's very much a coach like that. He doesn't mind scoring, obviously, but he wants people to be able he wants his players to be good on both ends of the puck, both offensively and defensively. That's why Matthews is kind of fucked right now, because he isn't that good defensively. But yeah. So where's that? More of a former Nordiques fan, and he prefers the Jets. Okay, Gisland, thank you. Yeah, I can understand since they moved to Colorado being pissed off. You're a Habs fan since you were a kid. Hell yeah, Gisland. Love to see that. The opening seconds of the second, Kapanen has Suzuki with a 2-on-1, but is a really nice pass blocked by the Flyer. I believe that was Sanheim. Sanheim had a very good game, I'll say, for the Flyers. Suzuki then has a good poke. I want to say that was on Ristolainen. Really nice one there. It's a 2-on-0 for him and Caufield. But the pass over Caufield just off the post. Could have had the goal there. That would have been great. And that sucks that Caufield doesn't score there. Canadians do press, but the Flyers get a rush chance going back the other way. I believe that was Farabee's opportunity he had, and it's a good stop by Primo. Michkov looks for a press, but good poke checks by the Habs. Canadians with pressure. Hudson ends up getting covered, but we end up scoring 4:48 into the second period. Brendan Gallagher with a deflection in front, right off his, not his knee, but off his calf, it looks like. Mayu and Anderson with the assist there. Anderson just passed back to the blue line. Mayu, the slapper, it goes off Galley, and it's a 2-1 Canadians lead. Brendan Gallagher playing quite a decent game recently. I'm quite happy about that. It looks like Marty has really helped out Brendan Gallagher, and hell yeah, it's a 2-1 Canadians lead. Also, the fact that last year our power play coach was the best this season is I don't know what to say. They only get 3 goals out of 24 power play chances. I'm already in frustration why this team is not there. I mean, Yoshi, yeah, I get that. I mean, Berube, I feel like that's part of. I feel like that's part of his thing. Is don't entirely focus on drawing power plays. You should be drawing power plays, obviously. Every NHL team should be. But don't focus exclusively on getting power play goals. Focus a lot of your time on 5-on-5. The game is played primarily at 5-on-5. It's not primarily played on the power play. You can win a game off the power play, obviously. But you can't lose a game off of getting power plays. You get what I mean? So I think that's kind of what Berube is really going for with this team is play well both sides of the ice and don't exclusively focus on the power play. Work hard at 5-on-5. Happy for the Jets fans out there. Congrats to the Florida Panthers. The Oilers fans went into celebration too fast. It was Game 6. Yeah, they did just like. I mean, I don't know if I'd say it was the biggest comeback in NHL history. But yeah, definitely Oilers fans celebrated way too quickly, and you know what? I think it was kind of funny. That's what happened, and yeah. So, suck it, Oilers. Flyers off a rush. There's a good one-timer. Primo has a nice squeeze stop there. I should say glove stop, I guess, technically. Well, actually, no, it's not because he has to squeeze it. It's in his arm, so kind of gives it one of these. Canadians press again. Dvorak nearly finds Hudson on a break, but that gets stopped. Hudson then has a near bobble, but he ends up recovering. There's a big Savard hit. This might have been where Savard hits Michkov, like Sporty was talking about earlier. But the Habs press after a big Savard hit out on a flyer. The fans, of course, want a penalty because they're a bunch of whiny bitches who only want their team to hit dirty and don't want to take any dirty hits, potentially dirty hits. Wolverine, we're covering the U.S. election on November 5th. Technically, I don't want to say well, you know, actually no, I probably should say what we're doing because it's going to be the whole point of the stream. So, obviously, we are covering the game because there's the game on November 5th. It's which game is it actually? I don't have the Canadiens open. It's the game against the Flames actually. I believe it's the Canadiens' 13th game of the year, which is kind of weird. But we play in Montreal. Thankfully, it's not an away game because that would suck. But Calgary, we play Calgary November 5th. We're obviously going to be live covering that game. However, the recap needs to take less than an hour because, again, at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Meme Championship Wrestling is bringing to you Election Night, where we will be covering what happens in the U.S. election, at least past 11 o'clock. I might have something up here where I put Trump and Harris, and I update it during the stream about who won which place. I might update that. I don't know yet, but yeah, we're going to be having a couple great matches. Habs vs. Flames. I can't wait to be there and see my second team. Hey, let's go, NZA. Hell yeah, man. That's fucking awesome. But yeah, again, with the Meme Championship Wrestling Election Night, we will be live at 11 p.m. covering the election, but also we are going to be having a wrestling pay-per-view. We are going to be live from the Bender Arena in Washington, D.C. We have 4 fantastic matches lined up for you so far. To recap them, if anybody wants to find out what happened, firstly, there's an MCW playlist on the YouTube channel. You can check that out, of course. Highly recommend it because we're putting a lot of time and effort into this stuff. I'm having some of the best times on YouTube with the MCW. We have the opening night, the MCW pay-per-view, and then our 2 episodes of Wednesday Night Keck so far. Election night, so far we've got Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in a 60-minute Iron Man match. The winner becomes the United States president. A 30-man electoral battle royal. If anybody's ever seen the Royal Rumble in the WWE, it's basically that. The winner will get a world title shot at a later date. Cosmo Kramer defends his MCW World Heavyweight title against the winner of a 6-man battle royal. That took place on the last episode of Wednesday Night Kex. Watch that to find out who gets it. And the Yankee Grandpa and Michael Green defend their MCW John Cena Memorial Tag Team titles against the Super Mario Bros, who won a street fight at MCW opening night to qualify for this match. So great match card. It's only 4 matches, but you know what? It's quite fun. It's gonna be really, really enjoyable. I hope you guys come by because it's gonna be a fun night. We might even have a special guest or two, and yeah, it's just gonna be something fun. We're gonna be rolling probably into 1-2 a.m. in the morning. I was considering going live for the game against the Flames, but I don't know if I can handle like 7 straight hours of talking. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see though. Since I work for the electoral process, I had learned the only vote I control is my own. But for me, elections are just a popularity contest. I mean, kind of, Ghislain. I mean, sort of, a little bit. Our 13th game against the Flames, yet. Yeah, indeed, NCA. But yeah, so check it out, MCW Election Night. If anybody wants to find out more about the MCW, such as some of the wrestlers that we employ, their records, what's going on for the shows and whatnot, the championship belts we have, you guys can check us out at memechampionshiprwrestling.fandom.com. Again, memechampionshiprwrestling.fandom.com. You guys can check us out there. Love what we're doing with it so far. I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out as well. Might end up creating a channel just for the MCW, just so we can post the content there. But, yeah, like have it both on the Heritage channel and on its own specific channel. But we'll see. And, yeah, so we got that. Ghislain, you were a Flames fan back at, the Al McInnes, Joe Newendike days, 89, 90s, hell yeah. Let's go, Ghislain, nice. All right, now that we're done promoting the the MCW, once again, memechapionshipwrestling.fandom.com. Let's get back into the game. So, oh God, where am I? Oh, yeah, good rushing by the Canadiens. This was how you were going to beat Philadelphia. They are not a good defensive team at all. And it shows. The Habs end up going to a power play. Drysdale gets called for a kind of hook and high stick on Anderson. Unfortunately, Anderson does not draw the double minor or technically the triple minor because could have been called a hook and a high stick. He isn't injured on the play, so it's not a double minor for high sticking. It is just the minor for high sticking. Andy going to drive to the net. Anderson, that's my one issue with him. He doesn't hit. He's a big guy. He's allegedly a power forward. Doesn't throw the body. So, yeah. I honestly don't remember how I became a Flames fan, but I would say their jersey history is a big part of it. Oh, shit, Wolverine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, their jersey history. They have some beautiful jerseys. They also kind of have a couple ugly jerseys. The Germany jersey, of course, comes to mind, I think, for most people. But, yeah, mostly pretty nice jerseys from what I can recall for the Flames history. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, NCA because they're players, obviously. Yeah, I would imagine that. Don't like Chris Kreider, the injury on Price, and Marchand. Tim, the German Olympic diver Stutzel. That's fair. I mean, funny enough, I actually kind of like Marchand. I respect him, I will say. Hate Kreider, and I want Tim Stutzel to get run over by a goddamn Zamboni on the ice. I'd appreciate that. But, I respect Brad Marchand. I will say he's the only guy there that I actually respect because he's actually earned respect because he's not nearly as much of a rat as he was in his first, I'd say, 6 years of his career. He still does some dumb shit now and then, obviously, but he's not nearly as big a rat as he used to be. I will say that. So the Canadiens, great pressure from the top line. There's a Caufield shot that goes to in the chest, that hits the chest of Hathaway. Respect to him, but you hate to see stuff like that, especially after Lindros takes that shot in the chest from Pronger all those years ago. You hate to see stuff like that, but you know what? Thankfully, didn't go down. He stayed up. Would actually end up getting back to the bench off of a Flyers clear. Thankfully, would not want him to be on the ice for what's about to happen. Ridley Gregg pisses you off too. There's no shot you respect Brady Tkachuk, bro. It's just like, I don't get how you can respect Brady. Matthew, definitely. I respect the hell out of Matthew. Even Keith, I respect. Brady, I don't get how anybody can respect that dude. Even fucking Sens fans, like, I don't get how they can respect Brady. He does not help his team whatsoever. He's a horrible captain. He's been stuck in the basement ever since he got drafted. Probably in the closet, too. But, yeah. Brady Tkachuk's a fucking loser. I'd fight Brady Tkachuk, bro. Bro doesn't want to fight fucking Arbor Jackeye. Bitch, I'll fucking fight Brady Tkachuk. I don't have a problem with Kreider. I've hated Marchand in the 2010s, but I think Stützle or Brady takes the top spot. Exactly, Wolverine. For me, at this point, especially because Kreider, really, at this point, he doesn't do anything, really. Especially when the Habs play the Rangers, he doesn't do anything. Offensively or otherwise. But yeah, Brady and Stützle, every time they play the Canadiens, it always feels like they're giving cheap shots. They're always fucking ducking fights. Brady, last time the Canadiens played the Senators, he fucking trips up Arbor as they both try to drop their gloves. He didn't think Arbor would fight, and he was, so Tkachuk obviously pussied out. Yeah, I don't know. I think Brady Tkachuk getting run over by a Zamboni would also be quite fun to see. But the Canadiens score. Goal, Caufield, holy shit. Firstly, his 8th of the year in 9 games. Power play goal from Suzuki and Matheson. Beauty of a shot. That's the second time they actually go to that play on that power play. The first time it just got blocked. That's when Hathaway blocks the shot there. Just beats Kolasar. Literally, he gets to the post, but it just squeaks by him. Like, here's Kolasar. Here's the post. Boom. It just squeaks by into the net. It's stuck on the kind of backing of the net where I guess they, like, get it all shored up. It's there. Habs take the 3-1 lead, and we're 1-for-1 on the power play tonight. Penalty kill's been fantastic this season, and ever since the power play, or the preseason, after the preseason, I should say, power play's been pretty good too. Honestly, like, I don't know what happened after those two really bad games. I think it was the Bruins and the Senators games where the power play just wasn't good. It's been really good since then. I don't know what. Ghislain, no, it couldn't be 9. It could be 10, dude. It could be 10. Like, he had that chance as well at the opening in the start of the first, or the start of the second, where he just went off the post, and as well as that one, which we'll get to. Actually, no, he could have had 4, honestly, tonight, actually, because there's 2, I think, in the third that he... No, 2 in the late second that he had as well. And yeah, Caufield could have had a 4-goal game tonight, and honestly, if he did, I would not be clothed right now. Probably. More than likely. Possibly. Flyers look to make it a 1-goal deficit. Paling has a nice chance, but Primo with a good glove stop there. After a couple minutes, we score again. Jake Evans with one of the funniest goals you'll probably see this year. Savard passes it to Galley at the blue line, fakes like he's going for the slap. The stick, boom, and it breaks, and it gets to Jake Evans, and he scores. Jake Evans makes it 4-1 Canadiens with 3:59 left in the second period. It's a nice one-timer. Buries it. By the way, that shot came in 63 miles per hour, so slow by NHL standards, fast by any of us standards. So yeah, 63 mile per hour. Again, Galley with the shot that breaks the stick, just trickles towards Evans. It's not this slow, obviously, but felt like all the Flyers should have gotten it. But Evans just buries it, and a beauty. Caufield shortly after, beauty of a shot. Hey, Ghislain, thank you for coming by, man. Much appreciated. Have a good night, everyone. Yes, indeed. Have a good night, Ghislain. Thank you very much, man. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, my good sir. Thank you, by the way, for wishing us a good night. But Caufield, a fantastic shot. Almost makes it 5-1 quickly. It's a good wrister. Just gets stopped by Kolasar with the pads. That was a solid one there. And the Habs go to a power play with 51 seconds left. Michkov, and his only really notable thing tonight, he's called for a slash on Gallagher as he and Michkov went at it. And Evans is immediately in there to defend the alternate captain. You love to see Evans getting kind of confident, honestly, with himself. Before, he's usually one of those, all right, just stay out of it, we're getting the power play. But no, recently, especially like right here, nah, that's my assistant dog. You don't fucking touch him. Love to see that. And then I just put, fuck you, Hathaway. 24 seconds in, Suzuki's called for a soft interference on Hathaway. He goes down very easily. Habs had something cooking. They had really good passing, especially early in the power play, but we are 1 for 2, unfortunately. During the 4-on-4, the Habs do press Hudson and Armia back and forth. They just ended up running out of time, though, unfortunately. So the Habs with a 4-1 lead after the second period. The shots are 18-16 for the Canadiens as well. Hudson early has a good look to Caufield, who just goes off the side of the net. He had the wide open net. Apparently that was a save by Kolasar. They had the save of the night, and that was the one. So apparently Kolasar actually saved it. So Caufield almost had that one, which is just kind of crazy. Canadiens still during the 4-on-4, they press again. Flyers end up looking for one, but there's some shot blocks. And the Canadiens, I should say, because they technically were on the penalty kill for like 10 seconds. They are 3 for 3. I forgot to put that in my notes, but I'm putting that now. They are 3 for 3. So again, the penalty kill for the Canadiens continues to be fantastic. If I can look up the PK stats after tonight, I don't know if they're fully updated, because I believe that the Avalanche dominating the Senators is, it's the end of the second period. So, which, by the way, middle stats, surprisingly. Oh, no, is that Nikolai Kovalenko's first NHL goal? I don't know if that's his first NHL goal. I think that's his... Yeah, that's his first NHL goal. Nikolai Kovalenko. Shout out to you, my good sir. I'm sorry it had to be against a team like the fucking Senators. Not a good team. But you know what? Hey, I'm sure you'll take it anyways. Yeah, so the power play... I think it is updated because the Flyers are... Oh, no. It might have been. But the Canadiens have a top 10 power play. And after tonight, the Canadiens have still the third best penalty killing in the league, tied with the Panthers. But the Panthers have played 2 more games. So the Habs penalty killing is pretty good. Our special teams overall are very good early to start the year, which hoping it stays with it. Delorier then tries to get Pezzetta to fight with a kind of late hit. It's not really like a aggressive hit. It's more just, and then just kind of go shoulder to shoulder. But Pezzetta smartly ducks him. Probably wouldn't have been able to take on Delorier. Pezzetta's not scared, but he knows he probably would have gotten his ass handed to him. Well, maybe not his ass handed to him, but would have definitely lost the fight. But also because the Flyers crowd was very quiet at this point. They weren't really into it. And Pezzetta knows that Delorier is trying to get the crowd into it to get the team hyped up. He doesn't go for it. And then we get something anyways, because Hathaway pokes at Primo as he's covering a puck. Mayu knows you can't do that, takes him down, gives him some punches on the ground. You love to see that from a guy like Logan Mayu. And which is funny, because Flyers fans are probably bitching about that, not realizing they love when Garnet Hathaway does that, so why can't guys do that to Garnet Hathaway? But, the ref ends up going down. Casey, not Middlestead, Casey, I can't remember his name. But the referee ends up going down during a board battle. Could have been a lot worse than it was, thankfully. No one skates over his hands because the ref's hands are bare, but, yeah, thankfully no one skates over his hands. He was kind of limping a little bit, but thankfully seemed fine. He did stay in the game, so props to the ref for that. Thankfully, was not that bad. The Flyers top line pressers is a good Sanheim shot. Sanford and Son, Jesus. Good Sanheim shot through traffic that gets stopped by Primo. Space, how's it going, man? I'm doing quite good. Thank you for asking. I have a question. Who do I hate the most? Sens or the Maple Leafs? Easily the Senators. They've been in the basement since 2017. Well, technically 2018 because 2017, that was when they were in the conference finals, but you get what I mean. 2018. They're the joke of the NHL, along with the Flyers probably. They're a team that nobody really respects. Can respect the Maple Leafs either. My best friend's a Maple Leafs fan, so when the Canadiens aren't playing, I guess you can say I'll root for the Maple Leafs, more so because I want my best friend to be happy, more so than I actually like the Maple Leafs. So, yeah, I will, just like how with what they do, they'll root for the Canadiens when the Leafs aren't on, and Canadiens are actually the one team they won't be mad at if they beat the Leafs is the Canadiens. So yeah, we cheer for each other's teams, and I can't really be disappointed with the Maple Leafs the way I can be with the Senators. Well, I guess technically actually I can't be disappointed with the Senators the way I can be with the Maple Leafs because the Senators are a nobody team and they're not really that good anyways, and they've got some of the worst players in the NHL because how do you have that much alleged talent and miss the playoffs for, 8 straight years, is it now? Something like that. Because let's be honest, we're already counting this year out. The Sens don't have a chance of making the playoffs, dog. Come on. Let's be real here. Here. They do not have a chance in hell to make the playoffs. NZA, does my best friend hate the Sens as much as I do? I don't know, actually. I know she hates the Bruins, obviously. I know she hates the Islanders. But I don't know if she hates the Senators as much as I would imagine she probably hates them a decent bit, but I don't know if they hate them as much as I do though. Canadians press the other way. There's a couple more rushes. Matheson tries to spring a couple guys. Hudson accidentally hits Kapanen in the face with a puck trying to do another springy thing. There's 8 minutes left. Not really a whole lot. At this point, the game really slowed down. Sanheim ends up nearly getting a shot, but there's a block. 5 minutes left. The Flyers press, but there's some clears by the Canadiens. A lot of icings to keep the game close. Or keep the game slow, keep the game slow. With the Flyers press, all right, boom, just clear it. Icing, not really looking to get much. And then, out of nowhere, it's 5-2. Sanheim gets the second of the night. Some bad D there. Your Wi-Fi struggling. That's -10 Celsius. Holy shit, Space. That's cold for late October. Holy shit. I would not want to be where you are, my good sir. Jesus. But Sanheim, like I said, gets his second of the night. Some bad D there. Good wrister by Sanheim. Just gets it past Primo. They ended up looking depressed right after. And they do, as Kolasar is going to the bench. It's Travis Konechny, 23 seconds later with the empty net. Just gets him by Primo. A very bad defensive play that makes it 4-3 late. Oh, you live in Quebec? I would not want to be outside then, because that, oof. Quebec province, yeah, Space, I had a feeling. Deadpool. First, I didn't realize that your irrelevant ass was in here. Last time I checked, we're higher in the standings than the Senators. Also, last time I checked, we have legitimate goaltending, legitimate defense. We have an actual number one defenseman in Lane Hutson. Cole Caufield has more goals than I'm pretty sure the entire Sens team combined, it feels like. We have actual prospects. We don't have Tyler Boucher, picked at 10th overall, who's never going to make the NHL. And we have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs this year. So the rebuild's actually going pretty good for a 3-year rebuild. It's actually going pretty good, man. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you're a Habs fan. You're asking how the rebuild's going. You want to know more about the Canadiens. Flyers get the empty net again, or they pull Kolasar for the empty net, I should say. They end up pressing, not many shots. They do get one good stop, one good shot that gets stopped by Primo's blocker. Habs just really good D to protect the front of the net. I mean, the Flyers would press. They get a couple. They already get a couple chances. Habs would win. They get a clear with 10 seconds left. There's a really last-second shot, but that's wide. Habs win. Hold on for the 4-3 win over the Flyers. Final shots, 26-24 Flyers. Good shit, boys. The Canadiens get back to NHL 500. Shout out to him. Whew. All right. So let's get into those Canadian stats in just a second, if you guys would like to, because my voice is a little weak. I didn't grab any extra water. I just realized that. I didn't grab a bottle of water before I came down here. That sucks. I left mine on on the table upstairs. But yeah, I don't know. All I'm gonna say is this, Deadpool. Your number one defenseman right now, going off the numbers, is basically Nick Jensen. Which, oof. Where's Jacob Chikrin, dog? Where's Jacob Chikrin? Oh wait, you traded him. You traded a good defenseman for Nick Jensen. Tomas Chabot. Oof! I thought that was your number one defenseman. Jesus. Oh my god, that is bad. Travis Hamonic at -4. Oof. David Perron. No goals in 5 games. Oof. My god, that is garbage. Alright, let's get into the real team stats like the Canadiens. Nick Suzuki leads the team with 3 goals, 8 assists, and 11 points. Cole Caufield with 8 goals, 1 assist, and 9 points. Love to see it. Mike Matheson with 8 assists. Juraj Slavkovsky, who's unfortunately hurt right now, but should be back for next game. Cross fingers for that. 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points on his season so far. Jake Evans with 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Kirby Doc with a goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Lane Hudson ANZ at Seawary. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Lane Hudson, he's got 5 assists. He had an assist for the first time in 3 games, I believe, tonight, so happy with him. Brendan Gallagher's got 3 goals and assists for 4 points. Caden Gooley, who's unfortunately hurt. Yoel Armia and Josh Anderson each have a goal, 3 assists for 4 points on the season. David Savard has 3 assists. Emil Heineman and Alex Newhook each have 2 goals. Logan Mayu with a goal and assist for 2 points. Christian Forax got 2 assists. Justin Barron, who's unfortunately hurt right now, has a goal. Oliver Kapanen and Jane Struble each with an assist. Mike Matheson has the lone fight on the Canadiens year so far. And Samuel Montembeault with the lone shutout for the Canadiens thus far. So that is going to do it for today's stream, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share on everything, which includes, but is not limited to, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Hooray. Subscribe to join the Puff, HC Club, the Sub Hub of the D Nation. If you remember the Mod Squad, thank you for running comments on any streams and or any videos. It is much greatly appreciated. Links in the description. Check all those out. Again, MCW Election Night. Don't forget, Tuesday, November 5th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be fantastic. You guys are not going to want to miss it. It's going to be huge. That is going to do it again, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Race, and I am out. I didn't really always remember no matter how bad we were last year, how good we are like this year. Go Habs, go, baby. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Sir Isaac, and I am out. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.